Hey everyone, it's Cynthia with Including You Journals. I hope you're doing well today. It's a bright, sunshiny day in Eastern Tennessee. And today I want to just have a little play with creating pockets or flips with some tracing paper. I'm using tracing paper today rather than acetate because while you can see through the acetate, if you're trying to create a more antiquated or a vintage style journal, that acetate really pops and is bright. I want to take it down a notch. Excuse me. I want to take it down a notch, so I'm using some tracing paper. I'm still going to be able to see through my pocket or my flip to get the idea of the paper behind it. But what I want to do is I want to make sure that I tone that down so that I don't have that bright, shiny acetate. Don't get me wrong, I love acetate. That's not against what anybody else is doing or using. I just want a way that I can tone this down a little bit so that I can make it a little more vintage looking and not quite so modern looking. All right, as typical, I use a half of a sheet of A4 paper because that's my kind of journal, my size of journal. And the first thing I've done is I have a pocket out here to show you already. I am utilizing a 2 1/4 inch circle. I have square, but I've been seeing lots of people use squares to make windows, and I'm gonna use a circle just so that it's something different today. And I've cut some of those out, and I have the right size of what I want. Now, all I did was pick up this little circle from this cutout because I wanted to be able to see how fun it is to put this on a journal page, or to make it, if I'm making it a pocket, or if I want to put a card inside there, how cute that's going to be. Today, I'm not going to doctor it up. I'm just simply going to create either my pockets or my flips, and then have those ready to use in a journal later on. I hope you'll join me. How is it where you are? Is the weather still turning nice for you here in February? Is it heading back down a style? Is it heading back down a notch or two on the centigrade or, the Celsius or the Fahrenheit scale? I hope not, unless you're just really liking it cold. Now, I'm also going to say that instead of making this a pocket where I glue 1, 2, 3 sides, I usually will glue in here on this side and this side so that I have a tuck. And I'm just grabbing a card here to show you the tuck. And I also want to make sure that I have glued this very much flush with that side of my pocket if I'm going to use this as a pocket, because I don't want that paper, the tracing paper, to be caught underneath as I'm going in and out. Okay, so let's lay aside the height and width that I like to make sure I'm doing, so I'm staying within what I like to use when I create journals. And here's my first pocket. Okay, and of course you can see through there, but it's not that bright, shiny, very modern, even though my paper today is very modern in style, as she says, as she is choosing something totally not quite as vintage as would be seen. All right, so let's look at a couple of these. We'll come here to this one. Still some of my most wonderful paper. I love this paper from Hobby Lobby, and I have noticed that it is a pattern that was used in Victorian England, and Victorian happens to be a style that I truly love. All things Victorian, and I'm just going to make sure that's covered now. And before I close my papers, I want to make sure I put a little bit more glue on the top part of that. And then you can see that all I did was fold over a portion of the page front and back exactly alike. And now I have a flip. And whatever is on this side of the page is going to be seen. And when I flip it, whatever's on that side of the page can also be seen underneath there. And one way that I would decorate this, I don't want to put any flowers on here today or butterflies or whatnot, because I'm not sure what I'm going to be using it in. I can finish adorning it later, or I can simply allow the pattern of that background to be all the embellishment that I want, except for a label that's there. But that's so easy. And all I did was come in with my, let me pull a piece of paper out. Folded the paper like so. Decided whether I wanted the circle lower or higher. Went in. And created that circle. And then you've seen where I have glued the little piece of tracing paper with that. Okay, so here's one. Very easy, very simple, very quick to make. A little sniffly today. Still just a little nasally. Time of the year, I guess. Making sure that that paper fits down. Got a little too long here. And I want to make sure that I glue a little bit on top so that the fold over will catch nicely. And here we go. And all I have to do is come in, straighten this edge out a little. Again, I could choose a butterfly or a flower, anything that I would want to embellish. I'm going to start with a label only today. So I guess I should say start and finish with a label. And I can still use this. This doesn't have to be a flip, even though that's how I've made it. Oh, I need to trim that edge too. I could still make this a pocket. And now that both sides are down, I'm not going to have any trouble once I get this as a pocket or a tuck to go in and out with my paper. It's not going to be catching on anything. And it still shows whatever's behind there. It's going to be so pretty in a journal. Okay, let me put those off camera, and we'll work on this one that I have cut just to be a pocket. And I'm going to glue here around the circle. And I got a little happy with the glue, thinking that I was going all the way back over. And that's not what I did. I'm just making a pocket here, not a folding flip. So I can wipe away that excess. And here's the pocket ready to go. Maybe a label. And again, I can use it this way or this way. And I don't know what it is about pockets and tucks and journals with me. But 9 times out of 10, instead of putting one across a journal page like this, I will turn it up and down. It is, my page is up and down, so I just like the way that looks so much. And then I think I have one more that I haven't put together, and that is just on, sorry for reaching there, that is simply on this little piece of blue, thin copy paper. little digital there. And I'm putting down my window. A little glue over top of it to make sure that it is sealed nicely all the way around. And then folding. Very simple construction. And then I have the flip that's ready, except for coming back and working with that edge a little bit. I do have a label. I'm going to stick here to this darker side in case I want to do any kind of writing. I can write where it's lighter. All right, just a simple idea. Nothing any one of us hasn't seen before, but just putting it together with tracing paper and having a really pretty pocket or flip that makes it maybe, and maybe to you it doesn't look any more vintage, but it does just take that shine off of the acetate. And there again, if I have acetate handy and no tracing paper, I'm going to be using the acetate. So that's not a problem, and that's fine. It's just another idea. All right, I hope you enjoyed it, and maybe you have an idea and can run with your idea as well. Have a great day. Bye.